I'm Dr. Anne Marie Fiore, and I'm the Director of Graduate Education for the Department of Apparel, Events, and Hospitality Management at Iowa State University. We've made a series of short videos that showcase our alumni of our hospitality management and apparel merchandising design graduate programs. We made these videos because we're really proud of our graduates, but also because many people ask, well, what kinds of positions do you get after a graduate degree? So we hope by showing you some of the things that you can do after a graduate degree, you'll consider graduate education. Thank you.
My background before I joined this ISU program, I studied art when I was very young. So that's my background of a design. I get to know, like the composition, the colors, and then everything. And then I went to school, in China for finance, and then I joined ISU as merchandising and marketing. So that's both business side, and then later on with my industry experience with Ralph Lauren, with Natori, with Versace, are all business related. So I did had kind of like 10 years in art, 10 years in business. Then I started my business. So I feel like I'm very balanced. And then another thing I feel it's hard. It is hard for a business owner, because if you're trying to balance both, I wish I have a business partner, but until I find that business partner, I have to manage this right now myself. So what I find is that's why I separate my life now. So in New York, I do business, and in Spain, I do more design creative side. To go back to graduate school is because that time I feel like I always had the urge, the dream to study abroad. And also I think I mentioned earlier going back to graduate school because so can help me to understanding of this whole industry better on the global level. So that's why I applied for ISU's graduate program. Program focus was thesis actually, because I probably people would think I would choose non-thesis because my personality, and I always actually now I'm an entrepreneur, have my own business, because I feel like I always like to do things industry realized, not education realized. But at that time I feel I wanted to challenge myself. That's part of me. Yes, maybe go like the less people travel the road. So that's why actually I chose the thesis program just to challenge myself. So I chose the thesis, and I feel my focus was merchandising and marketing. I think I did for sure the programs within the program, the courses, and also I took some course at the, I believe, marketing courses at the MBA program. I feel first one is building my confidence, because I come all the way from China. That time I even just speaking English in front of everybody. I feel like that's a progress. And then writing a thesis. I remember that time when I just joined the program, Dr. Elena was encouraging me to just write a paper, and I think we did publish at ITATA or ITAA, yeah. And then actually the next year, that's my first paper get published. I would have never thought about that. And I feel like that's something, it's like, this program helped me to realize, if you put your heart and your mind into anything, you can do it and you can succeed. Yeah. And so that's the first thing I think I learned from this program. Yes. It's a very friendly environment, and everybody is encouraging. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't think I could do it, but everybody just telling me you should try it. And then we did, not just Dr. Elena, and also you, Dr. Fiore, and Dr. Nim later on, guided me through my thesis writing. It's that I thank you for your encouraging and guidance. And yes, and I just feel like I without you I couldn't be here today. After the graduate program, actually, I moved to New York, I believe in 2008. Almost, oh my God, 10 years ago. It's actually not the first, but that's kind of the one of the internship I got right after I graduate. Was working an internship at Versace. So it's a wholesale and a merchandise internship for 3 months. And then right after that, um, I got a job offer at Ralph Lauren. So I was working at their product development as associate product manager. So I worked there for 2 years, and then I feel I need a little bit of bigger space. Like maybe people would think I should move to like a bigger company, but actually to me, bigger place or bigger opportunity means actually I could do more things. Because sometimes you feel like at a corporate, you're just some small thing, and then you probably need more time and then to grow. And then that time I feel like I wanted to do a lot of things. Need to learn different things. So I moved to actually a smaller company. It's called a Notori. Yes. So, and I was working as a brand manager. And so I helped them to launch their brands. Like actually we did like a first store in Saks, and yes, and then it's quite a very good experience. So I get my hands on everything. So I was there for 2 years as a brand manager, and then my creative energy just come back. As I mentioned, I was actually an artist first. So I wanted to create because even though I was in fashion, but I was like having all those kind of Excel sheets and also reading all those kind of business reports every day and thinking about sales numbers. But then that time I was doing photography on the side. And then I was looking for a camera bag. I couldn't find it. Not a good design, not a good quality. And I actually ordered on one online. And then when I look at that design, I was like, I could do something better. If this lady can make a business, I could do something better. So I started my business. And then my first design was a camera bag. Oh. So and that was 6 years ago. And then now we have a full collection. So I'm working for myself. We're creating this brand. It's called Sabrina Zeng. And last year, we moved the production to Spain, from New York to Spain. And so now we're ready to take the business to the next level. Back in China as assistant buyer. So I had experience in the industry, but I also were trained in the US at ISU, the graduate program. So I had this understanding of both markets and then also academic and the industry. I feel it's like the both combination. Yeah. It's so different. Every day is different, especially as an entrepreneur. Maybe today I'm focusing on sales. So I would get up very early because normally when I'm a salesperson or in business mind, I have to get up early. And then so you start writing emails, reaching out. You probably have like 10 emails or 20 emails reaching out, only one reply to you, and but then when I'm in designer mood, I probably would, because all my energy, or I find out when I have to stay up very late. That's when my creative energy come back. Because when you design, you cannot think too much about like, what should I say, whether it sells or not. Because if it's a good design, I feel it must come from your heart. That's the thing about design. Because when you think too much about the trend, of course, you do need to think about sales. That's my merchandising background come in. Like you say, oh, whether this is a market need or not. But if you just follow the trend, that's the thing I give to the designers. If you have your own brand, it's sometimes if I realize whenever I follow a trend, I say, oh my God, I have to do this color because it's a trend. It never sells. So you have to follow your heart to create things. But when you're talking about business, when you go out there to talk about bottom line and your goal and then whether it's a good sales or not, you do need to look at, whether it's a good thing for this market. Because different market probably needs different things. Because sometimes I even find it out because I sell, now we get older because we do online e-commerce. So one design could perform very well in the US, like our tote bag. but it doesn't really selling quite well in China. Yes, Chinese customers like smaller bags. When I started my business, I always ask myself, like, they say there are two ways to build a business. One way is most of people doing that is build a lifestyle around the business. But there should be another way around, build a business around the lifestyle you want. So I think I realized that I just keep going back to asking myself what I really want when I'm doing this business. So that's why part of the reason we moved our production to Spain last year, because I do want a lifestyle a little bit around the beach. And of course, another reason very important is because of the business level. The craftsmanship is much better, and also the cost is lower, so we can give more value into the product, and we deliver that into the customers. So that's one of the projects we're working on. And then actually, a good news is one of our design this crossbody bag was nominated by for the best retail bag for Macy's for this independent designer awards this year. And actually, even though we didn't win this year, but it has opened so many doors for us and a lot of contacts. And then actually I'm setting up the meeting with Macy's for next week, and hopefully I'll have good news to share with you soon. First is how you guys help me build the confidence. I think that's very important. You go out there, you start talking. That's what I learned at AESHM, very important. And then, and another thing I wanted to emphasize is, I guess especially I chose to write a thesis versus non-thesis program, because when you write a thesis, that's kind of like really about persistence. That's the same thing when you build your business. And then discipline, yes, that's what I want to emphasize.